What's going on, guys? Kaiga here. I told you before that I had the cheat sheets for all the classes coming. Today, I'm going to go over all of Ninja, Blazing Owl, and Shadow Owl in PvP and PvE. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so I've been putting them on the Discord, but people have been asking me to make videos on them to explain choices and things like that. So that's what I'm going to do here. So first, we'll start with Blazing Owl. That's the left side. And as you'll see up here with the skill breakdown, you can do full left side skills. And that's going to combo the best to get your chi up, because all of them have two versions minus the fourth skill right here, omnidirectional. But the other three skills have two versions, which allows you to get your chi a little bit faster. This other skill right here is the second skill on the right side, and you would primarily use this. You could use it as a slow, but it's primarily used to get out of CC as long as the kind of CC you're under is can't move. For example, if they hit Millim on you and you can't move, you can get out of it with Ninja Tool and then walk away. No problem there. Now, as far as the subclasses, we have Priest, Dragon Fighter, and Gladiator. Priest is going to give you that shield, is going to give you the the super armor, knock up, knockback. It's also going to give you that Tenacity Ball and Thunder God, which is good ranged skills. You could play a good range game with this, as well as you can just kind of use the Priest as your ranged abilities, and then once you're ready to go in, you hit them with Stealth Blade, and then you can teleport in, which is a big thing that Priest doesn't have as a movement skill. You actually have two, because Aerial Ace is also a movement type skill. You can use that to gap close, you can use it to get away. A really fun combination is Stealth Blade in, omnidirectional back through them, and then Aerial Ace away. And if you do this quick enough, they will be still silenced during the Stealth Blade by the time you're way out of their range with the omnidirectional into the Aerial Ace. And this is a really fun poke strategy. If you want to just be in the fight and just do the most PvP damage, Dragon Fighter is going to be a great choice here, especially with the Dragon Roar, giving you a way to ignore fairies, get you out of those stuns, which is also going to be what our fairies are doing once we get over there. This is more of just a glass cannon. I'm a damage dealer. I want to ignore CC. I just want to do damage. And then if you want to be tankier, you can go the Gladiator route, giving you more AoE. It could be really fun to do using the Gladiator, especially if you have Gladiator on your Tranquil Balloon Flower, and then you go third skill, which is Moon Slash, bring them in, and then you can Punitive Chop, of course, but you can also swap to a Ninja and use the Omnidirectional Enemy Slayer. Huge damage, and they're already pulled in, so that's going to make it really nice for us. Now, most wanted stats, this is going to be the same thing for most PvP. Damage to adventures increase, damage increase. Damage to adventures increase is your damage, your skills, like we said up here, all the damage from there to other players. Damage increase is a smaller number, but it affects everything. It'll affect your pet damage, it'll affect your fairy damage, it'll affect everything. Break and block, because we're not building towards crit here. People will say, hey, you're supposed to do both. You really, I believe, you focus one direction. And that'll also be over here in crystals. In PvP, we have block tenacity. Those are 2 defensive stats. You should always have them. And then break, because that's what we're building towards, is the break on Blazing Owl. Crit is still a good stat, just not on this build. As far as the pets down here, Capybara is the best 1v1 pet. Cat is a good cleanse even in 1v1. But Capybara, if you have its red books, can just hit like a truck. Actually, it's a little slow to hit. You used to be able to press it during the countdown. You can no longer. Makes it worse in 1v1 PvP, but it's still very good. Little Spirit Cat gets better if you do Gladiator as your secondary class, because you can swap to Gladiator, pop the cat, get 3 dodges, and then go to town on that, as well as having another way to get out of CC. Eldawise, Almond Blossom are your 2 defensive wind fairies. Their skills are pretty good. Eldawise with the poison effect and anti-buff. So like even if they try to do the priest buff, it won't happen with Eldawise. Well, chance of it not happening with Eldawise. Also gives you crit immunity. Almond Blossom gets you out of some debuffs as well. These are 2 great defensive ones, and these are your offensive ones. You have Tranquil Balloon Flower. As I said, you can have certain combos with the cooldown effect. Using this cooldown effect with something like Aerial Ace or one of your other classes, like I said, Moonslash with Gladiator, is very, very powerful. Spring Radiance Camellia is just a very powerful AoE, and you can actually play around that AoE pretty well, especially if you're doing something like Priest and playing around with the ranges. The treasures down here are all going to be the final battle ones. These 3, 1, 2, 3, are going to be the final battle ones. This is generally going to be a 1v1 type setup, and that's kind of what your skills are built towards. There's some AoE here with Aerial Ace and Omnidirectional and stuff, but generally you're focusing one person, where you kind of see that with Stealth Blade very specifically. As far as the Pocket Watch right here, this is just a flat, if the cooldown is more than 10 seconds, flat damage per second. And this is just a nice one to have. Phoenix Hourglass, whenever you're counting any final numbers, which will include Pocket Watch. It takes the final countdown, which will include Tranquil Bloom Flowers countdown reduction, as well as just a flat damage increase. These are great ones to have. You can also use the other ones. These are just ones I believe are semi-required. Onto PvE. We're using the full left side because we're not worried about being CC'd by most bosses. We're just using full left side, same classes, damage, the stats, boss increase, damage increase, and break, because we're still not building crit, especially in PvE specifically. You need a lot of crit to make it work, so if you're not generally built towards crit, you can kind of dump it. Otter is the best, but I put Flame Dragon here because not everyone has Otter, but Otter is best in slot. Flame Dragon is a fine second. It's like S versus like B in PvE specifically. Fairies mostly changed. Our 2 PvP fairies have turned into PvE fairies. Hyacinth for more cooldown reduction, and regular Bloom Flower for AoE pull and defense down. Crystals, we got rid of the defensive crystals and our full damage, attack, crit, break. Treasures, all of the gold and purple ones all increase damage in PvP. These are just base stat ones. The specific ones we have here are pierce rate, damage increase, and break. Will cores down here. I didn't have it over here. I will have it updated for Blazing Owl. I will suggest Slaughter, Rigidity, and Soul Hunt. Soul Hunt specifically because you have a lot of CC. Slows especially. You have the Ninja Tool. You have the pull right there. You have the Knockup. And then whatever your other class is. So Soul Hunt will give you a flat damage increase. Over here for PvE, Mantra, Fierce Attack, and Sprout of Flower. Now, Sprout of Flower is a contentious one. It is best in slot, but only best in slot if everything has Sprout of Flower. You need a full level 4 Sprout of Flower to make it work. If you have 3, you'll be sitting for a while waiting. If you have 4, it should, as long as you're like actually pressing the buttons and not autoing, you should have a good solid rotation with 3 fairy teams. Moving on into Shadow Owl. Shadow Owl, we're going full right side, but you have a, this is PvP, you have the option of swapping the Shuriken for Aerial Ace, the second left skill that, remember, I said can be used as a gap closer or as an escape tool. And that's a big issue Shadow Owl has, is it's pretty good at catching up on people. You have Raikiri to catch up on people. You have Ninja Tool, which can be used as a slow, as I said. You can use it if there's 2 enemies as a disengage/engage. You can also use it as an anti-CC if you have been rooted, for example. But the Shuriken has a slightly less cooldown. For that 3 extra seconds, you get Aerial Ace, which is actually the 2 casts. So if you use it as a gap closer, it'll be 2 casts, so you can have more chi, you can do more effects. Subclasses. Priest goes with everything. Dragon Fighter, this is primarily you're using it for the roar, as well as having 2 more CC effects. You have the Knockup, and then the second skill, Sky Rush, the improved version, where you spin forward, is also a stun. You'll also get that Pierce Rate, which is very powerful in PvP. And then Wind Chaser is one that people probably don't think about here. You have that Strength of Nature, which is very similar to the Dragon Roar, which also, Dragon Roar gives a shield and does damage. Wind Chaser's Strength of Nature does a heal and gives you movement speed. Very powerful. You can also have more CC with 2-3 skill or 2-1 skill are very powerful as well. Same stats as before, but instead of break and block, we're going crit and crit damage. We're going full in on damage. As far as the pets, so the Otter is primarily here just for the damage increase or crit. Dragon, it could probably be dropped. Really, it's between Otter and Cat, whereas because Capybara has gotten worse due to 1v1 PvP, the main idea of this Shadow Owl here is going to be group PvP, and the Pearl Otter will do fine, but generally you're going to want the Cat. The Cat is the main one that you're going to want, but people aren't really going to have it. That's why I just put options. Especially if you do like Wind Chaser, because like I said before, you can swap and have the 3 dodges, as well as have the another cleanse is very powerful. PvP fairies, we have Anathria, execute damage, anti-heal. Winter Cherry has a rigidity built into her. Natsu has great execute damage. The higher Starsy is, the higher HP they can be at. And Hydra Flames turn off their dodge, massive damage, block, tenacity, crit. And then down here, we're also using the final battle ones, primarily because Raikiri is going to be our big damage dealer. If you're going to be fighting against people in a big group, you can swap to the group attack treasures. They will be powerful as well, but the Hourglass and Watch are going to be very, very good at increasing the Raikiri's damage and Aerial Ace or Shuriken. Down here, Slaughter, Rigidity, Break Free, because we're going into the crit. Now, Shadow Owl PVE, full right side, ignoring the Aerial Ace. We're going Priest, Dragon Fighter, and Mechanician. Mechanician is a set it and forget it type. You put everything down and then go ham, and that's because Shadow Owl is our primary class. If I put armor here, armor would be the primary class. This is a Shadow Owl cheat sheet, so Shadow Owl needs to be the primary class. Mechanician, you set all your bots and stuff, and you swap back, and then you do your rotation. Down here, boss increase, damage increase, crit damage. Otter's the one you're going for. Dragon is okay. Fairies have changed very slightly. Only one has changed to Chestnut Rose for the damage increase, attack, crit, break. The same treasures we talked about before, which are for PvE, Mantra, Fierce Attack, and Break Free. Let me know what you guys think down below. Till next time, guys.